Shamanators. Welcome to our kitchen. Okay, as I promised, we're going to read a recipe today and make some delicious rice pudding. Before we get started, you may notice I'm wearing my Caps gear because the Caps are my favorite team. And if you know me, you know that Braden Holtby is the best goalie in the league. Okay, so enough said about that. So here we are. Let's go to recipe. So this is a recipe for rice pudding. So what we do first of all is we make sure we get all the ingredients, which I'll show you in a minute. And before we even start, we're gonna wash our hands. So here's the recipe. We're going to need 1.5 cups cooked rice. It's really important that we measure correctly. 2 cups milk, or if you wanna use soy milk or almond milk, whatever, or lactate, whatever you use, that's fine. 1/3 cup white sugar, so not brown sugar. 1/4 teaspoon salt, 1 beaten egg, 2/3 cup raisins, 1/2 teaspoon vanilla extract. So let's come over here to my little sink area. First thing you need to do always, especially before you handle food, is you must wash your hands. I'm gonna wash my hands thoroughly. You can sing happy birthday. You can sing happy birthday to Angel because you really should wash your hands and as you're singing the song. So happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Angel. Happy birthday to you. And there you have it. All right. So hands are washed. Okay, so let's look at our ingredients. So here we have, the first thing is the rice. You can use minute rice if you want. I actually used this right here, brown rice today. And I've already cooked the rice so I could get started. And then I have all my ingredients. I have sugar, white sugar, 1 beaten egg, which I put in my blender and beat it. Vanilla extract. I don't have any more of the extract that River's father made for me. That was so good. I used it with all my baking. So I could use some more. Then we have, I have my little salt shaker here. My raisins. This is not on the list, but I'm going to show you. I like to put cinnamon in mine. I know Dyson's grandmother is very much like me. Sometimes adults like other ingredients, if you know what I mean. We'll stick with cinnamon for today, but I'm with you, Grandma. We have our milk. And it's really important when you measure liquid ingredients. This is something I learned when I was in home ec many years ago. When you are pouring your milk or any kind of liquid, oil, water, you really should be at eye level. So you can make sure this is exactly 1/2 cup. You can see that. If I were going to make it a cup, I would be at eye level, pouring it and stopping pretty close to 1 cup. There you go. Looks excellent. That's just a little tidbit on how you should measure liquid ingredients. And for dry ingredients, such as the sugar, cinnamon, this you use a teaspoon for, which we'll show you later. This is how I measured my rice. I already cooked the rice earlier. So I actually packed it in really good. So I had my 1.5 cups. So don't be afraid to touch it as long as your hands are clean. Okay, so let's come over here and let's see what we have. On the stove, I already put in my cooked rice. So again, this is something I should mention, my little Shamanators. You do this with an adult supervision. And I'm always making sure that I'm very careful. And the stove is on, it says you should cook it on medium, low heat. You don't want to get it, you don't want to burn it. So you should always stir it constantly. So let's see now. I've got my cooked rice. I poured my milk in and my sugar. And this has been cooking for a while because actually when you combine everything, you can look down here, when I had the milk, the sugar, and the salt, I've already put everything into this pot here and stirred it because it takes a good 15 or 20 minutes for it to get really thick and creamy. So I didn't want to have, you have to wait for 20 minutes. So I've already been cooking this. So I'm going to let this cook a little bit longer, so maybe another minute or two, before we take it off. And we're going to add some more milk, 1 beaten egg, and the raisins. Cook for 2 more minutes, and then we add the vanilla. So let's go back over here just so you can see how we measured the dry ingredients. So this is our sugar. This is 1/3 cup. So your measuring cups have the numbers on them. Remember, there's 1/3, so 2 more thirds to make a whole cup. 3/3, 3 out of 3 is 1 cup. 1 whole, remember our fractions? So when you measure dry ingredients, This is something, and I know Miss Friedman knows this, because our grandmothers taught us how to bake and how to cook. When you are doing measuring some more dry ingredients, you should always take a knife, and again, adult supervision. This is something that your grown-ups do with you. And you would, let me get some more in here. And by the way, I made sure I thoroughly washed off my countertop. I'm very careful about that. Well, let's just say I had some more here. Maybe I should take this. Let me just get a little bit more. I'm going to show you how you should level it off. Okay, so let's say I have there. Okay, so I would come over to the sink just to be on the safe side. And you take the other side, the dull side of the knife, and you would chop, 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 and then just smooth it over. And that's how you get almost perfect. Okay? All right. So let's come back over here to our cooking rice pudding. Mr. Tim, get a close-up of this rice pudding. I think it's really looking good. It's very thick and creamy. And actually, you could add you would add another half a cup. I just don't want to, take too long, but you would put another half a cup in here. I don't think I want mine I don't want it to be any more liquid. I think it's pretty good right now. So let's see now. We need to, maybe I'll stir in just a little bit more milk, but not too much. It says a half a cup. I'm just going to put a little bit more in, but you can do the half a cup. And then we need to add our egg. So this has been already beaten in my blender. So we're going to add the egg and raisins. Now here, my friends, you will see that I am not really going to measure as accurately as you probably should with the raisins, because there's my raisins. And what does it say on your recipe, Mr. Tim? It says 2/3 cup. Well, we could do that again. Here's our third. And instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm just going to add, I'm going to guesstimate. That's probably about 2/3 cup. But my sugar's in my third cup right here. But 2 of these for the raisins. But you don't have to follow this part exactly, because some people don't like so many raisins. Some like more. So it's up to you and your taste if you want to put the 2/3 cups in or not. So here it is. It says cook 2 more minutes. So we will just not do exactly 2 more minutes, but at home you would. So it's cooking, and you always want to make sure, good tip is, you want to have a wooden spoon, because if you didn't and you're stirring constantly, you might scratch your pot. And also you want to make sure that you do stir constantly, because if you don't, if you walk away, it could boil over, even though it's on low, medium heat, or you could burn the bottom of it, which nobody wants to eat burnt rice pudding, trust me. And by the way, I might add, this is one of Miss Wilchessa's favorite desserts, because I did make it for her and she loves it. So, all right, so let's say it's been our 2 minutes, okay? And we're stirring constantly. It says we need to remove from heat, stir in the vanilla, then cool and enjoy. Okay, so I'm going to turn this off. I'm gonna bring it over here, and this is where you want to have a hot plate or pot holder. I don't want to burn my countertop. All right, so it says, let's look at our ingredients. What is it? How much vanilla, Mr. Tim? Oh, 1/2 teaspoon. Oh, you know what? Sometimes I like to do a little bit more than that. Even though it says a 1/2 teaspoon, here are my teaspoons. And to me, I want to be a little less conservative. So I'm gonna look here. Got tablespoons on here. Now here is a 1/2 teaspoon, but I feel like being a little more generous today. So I'm gonna put in 1 teaspoon right here. So I'm just gonna put it right over here. There we go. And this is something, again, if you are like Dyson's grandmother and me, you may want to add something else in there for your version, but for our little friends here. And we're gonna stir it. And Mr. Tim, you get a close-up of this delicious rice pudding. And I believe that is it. And then what you would do is, it looks really thick and creamy. Looks really good. How does it smell, Mr. Tim?
Perfect.
So I'm gonna take my bowl that I have here ready. This is fun. I hope I don't take over the Pioneer Lady's job. I don't know, maybe I should be cooking with Shermanator. Just pretty much as baking normally. So I'm gonna put it in here. Looks really good. Yum. And it's gonna cool for a while, but I must show you my secret ingredient. What I like to do when I get it in my dish, but by the way, boys and girls, I do like to refrigerate mine, but you can serve it cold or warm. Sometimes we warm it up in the microwave if it's been in the refrigerator. Cinnamon. I do like to put some cinnamon, even though it's not in my recipe. I like to, like we say the word garnish. I like to put a little bit of cinnamon right on the top of it. Looks so good. And then when you want to serve it, our favorite, whipped cream. And you know, you can, like I said, microwave it or heat it up. Or actually, if you just let it cool, it's still going to be warm if you want to eat it in about 10 minutes. Put some whipped cream on it. It's really good. So that's it, my friends. Read the recipe. What I'll do is I will type this up for you. I will send it on an email. And my little friends, make sure you have adults with you in the kitchen always. Okay, safety first. Wash your hands when you're before and after. And you are good to go. Adios, guys. See you later.